Hello everyone, it's Rich here and welcome to the Retrorectionist. In today's episode we're going to be looking at a brand new platformer for the NES called Trophy by Gradual Games. Sorry it's been a little while between episodes, but I have been busy. I've been doing a research, trying to improve and find ways of improving the channel. So I've been reading books like YouTube channels for dummies. Don't call me that, but somebody wants to learn. Don't call me a dummy. YouTube channels for dummies. That's to improve the quality of the show. 6502, assembly language. That's to improve the insight that I offer on the reviews. So I've been busy. I've been writing. I've been reading. I've been fair enough. I've been mainly watching reruns of Unsolved Mysteries on Amazon Prime. But in my defense, two things. Number one. Somebody's got to solve them. They can't stay unsolved forever. And number two, this is free content. It's just me here. I've got a job. I've got a wife. I've got a cat. I've got a dog. I'm busy. That reminds me. Is this a good time to bring up liking and subscribing? No. Fine. Enjoy the content. Roll credits. The Mega Man and Disney franchise games by Capcom are some of the most beloved on the NES system, and not just by hardcore gamers. Memorable music, colourful graphics and intuitive gameplay all combined to make something that stayed not just long in the mind, but also the heart. But now, a new title called Trophy by Gradual Games is looking to pick up where they left off. So, no pressure there then. In this run-and-gun platformer, you play as a cyborg, I think that's right, called Trophy, who must battle across 9 unique locations to free the inhabitants of Gearus 9, a planet of peaceful robots who have been enslaved by the insane Zella Quine. Trophy not only represents an impressive new entry into the homebrew market, but also the realisation of a lifetime dream for the sickeningly talented Derek Andrews, who not only created the character when he was 12 years old, but also coded the game and wrote the score, with graphics being provided by Laurie Andrews. So full disclosure before we get started, I was actually sent a copy of this game for review by the 6502 Collective. I know, I'm as surprised as you are. And on that note, I just wanted to say thank you very much to EC Myers and Deadeye.bit for recommending me. I was both shocked and humbled. And I hope this is the kind of thing that you were looking for. Everyone else, I don't want you to worry, it will not shape my opinions or views of the game at all. My opinions will remain very much as mediocre and middling as ever. So with that in mind, let's learn a little bit more about the content we're here to talk about. Trophy was designed by Gradual Games and published by the 6502 Collective, a collaborative project between Soul Goose and Retrotainment designed to support developers with the publishing and distributing of new NES games, which can only be a good thing. Trophy can currently be pre-ordered from the 6502 Collective website for $60, complete in box and with manual. Remember, if you're in the UK like me, you're going to have to add on a few extra quid for shipping, etc. Okay, now that we're all set up, let's give Trophy a go. The first thing you'll notice when you start the game is that you can choose which order you tackle 8 of the 9 levels, and while aesthetically it looks a lot like Mega Man's level selection, in actuality it's much more like DuckTales, in that the character is capable of tackling any of these levels without power-ups, which to me, personally, was a massive relief. It just made the selection process seem much more fun and more enjoyable, and I'd go in knowing that I always had a good shot at competing or completing a level. Speaking of power-ups, there are a few in the game, but unlike Mega Man, they're not rewards for KOing bosses, but instead are hidden within certain stages. There are 2 health power-ups, which give you an increased health meter, and 1 weapon power-up, which turns you a nice gold colour and increases the damage caused by your blasts. A nice little mechanic here is that if Trophy's health is depleted by 50%, you temporarily depower until you gain more health back, which is cool. So for some people, the inclusion of only 3 power-ups might be a little bit disappointing, but for me personally, it's perfect. One of the reasons I play my NES in the first place, and one of the reasons I continue to return to it, is the simplicity of the experience. Plus, This, along with the respawning villains, ensures that the game remains competitive throughout. And another thing, where simplicity is key, are the controls. Use the directional pad to move around the screen, A to jump, and B to fire your repulsor style hand cannon. One of the main skills you'll have to master is Trophy's incredibly high jump. The character controls exceptionally well, and a good thing too, the game is full of precise platforming and also instant death spikes. Now, I've never met Derek Andrews, but I have listened to his interview on the excellent Assembly Line podcast. And in that interview, he comes across as a very intelligent, very reasonable man. And that's exactly how I would describe the game mechanics in Trophy. Very intelligent and very reasonable. Platforming is challenging, but not impossible. Enemies can be vexing, but they're not insurmountable. And bosses, well, I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. But before I do, let me give you one more example. Trophy features knockback. Most gamers will be familiar with the concept of knockback. Basically, whenever Trophy gets hit, he gets pushed backwards. But the key here is it's a reasonable amount. It's an acceptable amount, and very rarely results in a cheap death, unlike some other games I could mention. One of the things that's most impressive about Trophy is its wide variety of villains. Each level has its own unique character set, along with some that repeat throughout, and each of those characters have their own individual styles of attack, which makes sure things stay varied. So for example, you have Snailbots, who speed up when you step onto the same plane as them. There are Top Hat Men, who fire projectiles, Flying Saucers with circular flight patterns, and my personal favourite, Levitating, Rotating Cube Man, who follows you around the screen. What kind of life can that lad possibly be leading? Anyway, on to the boss fights. Bosses in the game look great, towering giants, each in keeping with the overall theme of the level. Most feature multiple forms of attack and will keep you on your toes right till the very end. That said, it's here where I have one of my criticisms of the game. I don't know if it's a design issue, keep in mind the game is still getting tweaked as I speak, but I couldn't get past the quarry boss. I found his pattern completely unpredictable, and that in itself isn't a problem, but I felt my progress was more about good luck rather than good gameplay. As a side note, it was during this process where I was incredibly grateful for the inclusion of a password feature, which allowed me to take significant breaks before returning for more punishment, like a sucker. Let's talk about the presentation. Trophy looks great. The sprites are huge and have a polished, defined style to them. They really are something to behold, and also a measure of just how far the homebrew scene has come in recent years. The levels strike a good balance between offering unique adventures while simultaneously feeling part of a collective game world, and that's no easy feat when you have to balance a carnival stage, a runaway locomotive, and a Martian adventure. Another cool aspect of the game is the fact that some levels feature environments which significantly alter the game mechanics. Trophy's jump is heightened and slowed by the gravity of Mars, while the snow and ice of the tundra presents a tricky if familiar challenge. All of this is buoyed by a memorable score, the best of which feels like it comes straight from the original library. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A Trophy is another excellent NES platformer which transcends its homebrew origins and can sit comfortably on a shelf between DuckTales and Mega Man. Responsive controls, colourful aesthetics and catchy tunes far outweigh the few minor issues which developers might still iron out before release. So yeah, that's our show for today. Thank you very much for watching. Now, if you have a comment to make about Trophy or you'd like any clarification on what I've said today, why not leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're wondering about the Micro Mages review, in short, I've mucked it up and I need to film it again. It wouldn't come together in the edit. So yeah, I'll get on that as soon as I can, but the problem being, we're in quarantine now and I had a few other people help me out with it. So, as soon as we're out, back on the streets, I will get back on that as well. But by then, we're probably all going to be living in some kind of futuristic Mad Max hellscape. So, well, maybe not. Maybe things will be better. Maybe. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Bye.